A very good, uh, a very good evening to one and all present here. I, Ayushi Srivastav, on behalf of I.T.S, welcomes our esteemed guest, Mr. Syed Rahim, sir, to this virtual platform. I also welcome our Director Management, Dr. Vidya Sekri ma'am, our chairperson, all the faculty members, and my dear batchmates to this wonderful evening of corporate talk. To start with, I would like to give a brief introduction about sir. Sir is having an experience of about 15 plus years in enabling retailers drive exponential growth with marketing strategies. Currently, Sir is associated as Senior Director in Customer Success and Consulting at Manthan. Here, Sir is responsible to manage multi-million dollar accounts and superhead customer success and consulting vertical across Middle East and Africa region. Earlier, Sir has associated as marketing head and was managing the entire marketing function for omni-channel business of 1000 crore plus across pan India. Sir has also successfully consulted to retail clients across the globe, especially in US, Europe, Middle East, and APAC at Manthan. Sir has been also in key strategic roles to drive business growth in retail with giants like Reliance Retail, Mahindra and Mahindra, and Shoppers Stop, and has been successful with proven statistics of transforming degrowing business units of double-digit growth units. Basically, Sir has been associated with different high designations in many ostensible organizations. Besides this, Sir has accomplished with many awards like Sir has been awarded as Top 100 Analytics Leaders 2019 in APEC by Macnicon. Also, Sir was invited as a speaker to address and share best practices with Globe Customer Experience Leader in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Sir has been also badged international awards for campaigns like Season of Joy, which was awarded as one of the top 5 campaigns in the world as World Retail Awards 2018. Sir has also awarded with landmark rewards for SPAR as one of the most successful program among the hypermarket formats in India, and also awarded with several awards for the same. Without wasting much time, sir, I would like to request you to please take over the platform.
Thank you so much, Ayushi. Thank you so much for inviting me over, guys. I think it's a pleasure to be back as a student. I mean, among the students, of course. And yeah, thank you so much, Ayushi, for that brief and a very detailed introduction. You reminded me of many things which I forget on a day-to-day basis. With my schedule being so busy. But yeah, it's always exciting to come back and speak to the students out here who are the lifeline and who are the next gen of what we all will wait in the industries where you guys could come and think, share your thoughts, and of course, being a leader in several organizations, I have always been there on the forefront to sort of make sure guys like you who are out of college with fresh ideas come and tell us what needs to be done. I think that is one of the perspective which I would like to bring in today's session. So before I move on to my presentation, so what I'm going to do today is bring in a perspective of what we used to do few years back and what is today's world demanding, and why is that. And I will not keep it very intensive deep in terms of what I'm going to share. I'll try to give you guys as much as practical examples as possible, which will give you a perspective more of from what we do back there in marketing space, right? And of course, if you ask me, when lot of years back when I was a student, when I studied marketing and what I do today, there's a lot of difference, right? I'm sure by the time you guys come to the real world, the corporate world, things will be different, but yeah, the fundamentals will remain the same. Yeah, with this, let me try sharing my screen with you guys. Let me know if you are able to see my screen. Just give me 1 second. Do I need any permission from your side to open the slides?
I've made you co-host again, so it is not difficult now, I believe.
Give me a second. Not sure why.
In case there is a trouble, you can send it to me. I'll be sharing from your behalf.
Yeah, that will also be good. I think it's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do is I'll just send it to you right away. Just let
Yeah.
me know if it is.
Okay. I think it's visible now. Ayushi, is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Right. So, Saiti, we can start now.
Yeah, are we good? Can you just put this on run mode if you don't mind, please? Or you may also try to allow me to share the screen. Let me try once. Otherwise, you can just put it up. It's easier for me to maneuver through the slides. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, are we good to start? All right. So what today we are going to talk about is, the digital and the traditional marketing, right? As I mentioned to you, I'm going to be touching base on few of the examples. I'll share my experiences in the industry, corporate world, as well as show you some of the interesting facts, which are going on in today's, landscape. Right. Let's move on. Yeah, I'll skip this slide. I think there is much more which has been spoken about me. Thanks to
Right.
Ayushi.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what is this, right? Uh, how would you guys look at this when you look at this on a screen or a newspaper or any of the media, right? What is that as a message which you get, right? I don't know whether you are allowed to speak on this forum, not sure. So let me also start putting the points on behalf of you, right? If somebody asks me as an individual, what do I look at here, right? I look at two three things. I look at a Coke bottle, right? I'm not sure why is it half filled, which on the top. I look at the red and white color, and I look at some text which is missing, right? Yeah, this is a lens of a marketer, right? Basically, the lens of a marketer is much wider. So if I remove that hat and keep it away and look at as a common consumer, right? Or somebody who doesn't understand retail, doesn't understand marketing, what is it? It is a piece of communication where I see a Coca-Cola as a brand is trying to communicate something with me. But is it something which is going to catch my eye and definitely yes, right? We all know that is marketing. End of the day, if at all you want to get that share of attention from a consumer's mindset, of course you need to do something, develop something which is slightly different, which is slightly innovative, which is slightly creative, right? So the reason of me putting up this is to show you one of the example how of Coca-Cola rebrand during their rebrand campaigns. They came up with such innovative ads to draw the consumer attention, right? If we move next, right? Another interesting stories. I'll tell you why I'm showing all this. Before I jump on to my actual presentation, I just wanted to show you a few of the examples which the great work being done by the marketeers outside to end of the day make sure the consumer is elated, the consumer is happy, and the consumer is able to actually get the message what they're trying to see. I mean, what they're trying to get. For example, this Coke bottle, right? All of us know there is a Pepsi hidden behind the Coke bottle. This was an ad released by Coca-Cola for Halloween, right? So quite interesting, right? I mean, look at the creativity and innovation. Again, so how did they communicate? Is the first question mark, right? How did consumer get to know about this? Obviously through various marketing channels, and of course, this campaign became one of their most successful campaign on the digital platforms, right? They did not take this campaign on the offline part of the world, right? I'll talk about more of what is offline traditional marketing in the coming slides. This is just to give you a perspective. When at IKEA, the one which you're looking at the top is an ad which is released, which communicates a lot about during the COVID times, right? Again, they went ahead with the digital campaign. They wanted to go out and talk to the world on the digital world and say that, hey, look, I care for you. You stay at home. I will bring whatever you want to your doorstep. Wherein IKEA traditionally was never a online kind of a player in the retail world, right? Wherein you look at Chanel, right? This is again a Chanel's ad which became one of the most popular ads in the world, and it is also awarded as one of the best ad campaigns in the world. It is a campaign which Chanel did during the Mother's Day celebrations, right? Here, what you are seeing is a kid describing a Chanel as a brand by wishing uh, her mother a happy Mother's Day, right? And then Chanel took that consumer sentiment to rest of the world and what a simply what a small girl wrote to her mother, right? So there are various things coming out of all these examples, right? And one single common message is, right, how do we communicate? How do we make sure we reach out to the maximum of the consumers who are outside waiting to see what a brand can offer me, right? Though you may have a question that Chanel is a very high-end brand, why would I be interested? But what is interesting here is Chanel did not think about it as a brand. Chanel did not reach out. Chanel reached out to everybody and say, I'm a brand who is, of course, for some group of some segment of people, but however, the message from my side is that I want to wish every single mother out there a happy Mother's Day. Yeah. Shall we move on, please? One slide before. Yeah, previous slides. Yeah, thank you. Right. So, what is this? Right. I just wanted to give you a perspective of what is digital marketing versus traditional marketing. I'm sure all of you understand, being in the marketplace, being the TA guys, right, being the technology space. Of course, you understand what is digital marketing, what is traditional marketing. But what I'm telling you here is slightly different from the consumer perspective as a marketer, what I think of, right? What you see on your left hand side with the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and of course a lot more digital platforms like Instagram and many other channels, blogs, the Google ads, many other things have become more of digital marketing space or the channels from where customer is being contacted by a retailer, right, or anybody for that matter. If they want to, if or automobile industry want to reach out to you today, or even the IoT on the other things have enabled us as retailers as well as us as the marketeers to reach out to consumer via multiple things, knowing what customer is even thinking, right? Thinking in terms of what a customer is looking at today, right? And of course, what does it say? The audience here versus a traditional media. Imagine yourself, right? Imagine yourself few years back when you used to get a Times of India newspaper. If I would have asked a question to all of you, how many of you are getting Times of India newspaper today? I'm sure that out of 100, not even 10 to 15 will say that I'm getting a newspaper today, right? Where do you read your news? It is all digital. It is all on your phones, on your tablets, on your iPads, on your laptops, right? So that is where we get to know. Today we all wake up not to look for a newspaper, Times of India, but look at our mobile and see where is the Twitter, what's happening, what's trending, right? So that is all become a part of our life, right? So that is where audience are being effectively or directly interacted with whatever ads being played in the digital space by the marketeers like us. Wherein the traditional marketing, right, it's a medium where you want to communicate today. Even today you look at a lot of brands talking about their brand on the big hoardings, right? Brands talking about still in newspapers, brands talking about still, let's take Vogue, right, let's take a film fair, they're still into magazine space. Of course they would have moved into the digital space, but still traditionally they follow, because that is where they think that yes, there is still space to exist there. Of course that they think, of course TV, right, again, today even though we have moved to an OTT platform, still we all see a lot of ads on YouTube, right? People still want to be there. Of course YouTube being a digital platform, of course TV being a TV force, a lot of brands come back there and communicate their brand presence. Of course they want to be loud, they want to be there to address the mass, right? Wherein digital is very specific to you. And today Twitter or Facebook shows you what you want to see, what you like, what are your preferences, wherein a traditional media generally cannot go to that depth and level of detailing to reach out to you as an individual. Yeah, that's the primary difference between what's a digital versus traditional today. Just to give you a perspective, what is traditional way of marketing? It is point of sale. Of course, COVID has changed the landscape of point of sale. Point of sale today is more on add to cart than going and standing in a queue and billing, right? Of course, that is moved. Radios. Not sure how many of you listen to radio. The last I listened to is when my Bluetooth player in my car was not playing, so I had no other option, right? The billboard, of course, is there, not there. If you ask about Bangalore, where I'm currently based out of, it's banned. So I don't get to see a lot of billboard, but wherein once upon a time, even as a retailer or a marketeer, right, I was ready to pay even a 15 lakh, 20 lakh, and I have paid for a billboard for a month, right? And of course, print is all your print, whether it is a newspaper ad, what is the size of the newspaper ad, and so on and so forth, right? TV, of course, is there. These are few of the traditional marketing channels, I would say, which you would have, of course, read as a part of your curriculum. Otherwise, this is for your information. Yeah. Now let's look at, before we jump on to say that digital marketing, yes, today I love to be on Facebook, I love to be on Twitter, I love to go on Mintra, Facebook, Amazon, Flipkart, Amazon, and shop. If you're a girl, and of course a lot of guys also go on Nika. There's a Nika man, right, as a website which is being there. But traditionally, if you actually ask me, right, as men, most of the men used to not even go to a health and go kind of a store to buy some cosmetics for themselves. Today, there's a website of Nika Man there, right? People are very conscious about themselves. But what are the fundamental aspects which is still the same from the retailer or any marketeer's perspective, right? The four piece, what you have learned is still the same. The target market, I would say target consumer, right? Within a target market is still the same, right? If somebody is in the mother and baby space, of course their audience has not moved from a 0 to 13-year old kid. Of course it will not move. Their particular product price promotion or place cannot address to a target group of 25 to 35, right? The fundamental aspects remains the same, which is the four P's of marketing. The reason why I'm saying this to you is, these are the core principles which will still remain intact. But interestingly, it is evolved to how a product plays a role today versus traditionally, how a price plays a role, how a promotion or a place, right? Place, all of us know. I mean, a billboard today, on a high street versus reaching out to people via Bluetooth or, a Facebook ad or serving an ad via Instagram, who is there walking on a Brigade Road or an MG Road, right? Or even you are sitting in a car, you don't even have to look at the billboard. You still, I can serve you an ad on your phone, right? So the mechanics, the way we are doing things, the way we have technologically advanced. I mean, the AI, artificial intelligence, right? Wherein if I browse through Amazon and of course, I go to immediately shift over to a Facebook or an Instagram, I keep seeing the ads if I have added something to the cart and I have not bought it there. But eventually, the product has remained the same, right? The prices remain the same, the promotion is remained the same. Of course there are changes. Retailers have moved, right? I was reading a article recently which talked about what is the next in thing in 2021 and 2022 for retailers, right? And it is a trend which is coming in from Paris, who are basically the trendsetters in the fashion industry. They say the after sales or the deeper discounts of luxury brands like a Louis Vuitton is the next in thing, right? Of course it is, because they have to evolve, they have to reach out to the consumer, and they have to make sure that the right product, the right price, the right promotion at the right place is served to a consumer, right? That's what we of the aspects there, right? What are biggest drawbacks today as marketeers we see in traditional marketing versus what we all, a sort of things which we believe that this is the best way of marketing 10 years back or 5 years back, right? We feel that, the traditional marketing is generally cost intensive, right? If I have to give an ad in Times of India, okay, main first page ad, I may have to shell out somewhere close to 15-20 lakhs, right? It is a ballpark. Of course it depends on when you are giving, what kind of volumes you have committed and so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, typically it is very expensive. With the same amount of volume of money, what can I do on digital space is massive, right? I can talk to a specific consumer. Wherein can I do that using a newspaper ad? I don't even know whom I'm talking to, right? I just think that, yeah, I'm serving an ad and this is the consumer group who reads Times of India. Yeah, I'm happy to talk to them, right? I don't even know how many of them actually were interested and seen an ad, right? It starts there. Who is that consumer? What is, how many customers did I speak to, and how many customers came back and shopped with me in the store or online or wherever, right? And I don't know what consumer sentiments are. Whether consumer is happy about shopping with me, consumer is not happy about shopping with me, consumer is very angry about a product feedback. I don't know, right? And of course, it's a belief. It's a belief because of the lack of information. It's a belief that the conversions are not very high. But again, it is a debatable topic. Yeah, but overall, 50% of it is the interaction today, which I can do very easily on the digital platforms, where I know, if Ayushi is looking at something, what is she looking at? right? What is her interest, whether she likes it, what is the time which she spent. If she spent a time on my website, what what are the places which she's clicked on, what is her interest, what did she browse, what did she add to the cart, and what she did not buy, what she intended to buy, right? Of course, a lot of things which I cannot traditionally do in the marketing space using the traditional marketing channels. Importantly, this is what you need to definitely know: limited customization options. Of course, the newspaper comes with a space as a size, right? I cannot do much there. I cannot easily update once the ad is gone with a stipulated time given by the printing press. I cannot do the changes there. I cannot update what I want. Similarly, imagine a wrong communication is gone, a wrong price for a right product is gone on a website. How easy is it to change? It takes few seconds for me to change. Same thing, imagine that I have faced this where a product which is costing 1,000 is by mistake put it as 100, but customers have flooded to the stores and asked for it, and we had to give, bearing the loss, right? And there is no measurement of campaign. But out of all this, what is more important is going to come on your screen now, right? Which is traditionally very difficult. What is it? Can you just do a click? Yeah, just go back. Sorry. Lack of customer data, right? Which is what is leading to a lot of important decision making in retail, right? I, as a marketeer, I have started believing that I need to understand my customer and I need to reach out to the customer very specifically about and address one customer's needs and wants, right? I don't need to talk. I don't believe in going to a larger audience and talking today. I want to personalize. I mean, personalization is far, we have left behind 2 years back. We're talking about hyper personalization today, right? Hyper personalization in terms of, if you have received an email and I have received an email, what do I serve as a marketeer to me, and what do I serve as a marketeer to you on your email box at the different places? If your preference is to see, let's say, a moisturizer, and my preference is to see a different variant of moisturizer, let's say an aloe vera based moisturizer, even though my campaign is on moisturizer, but the ad which I serve to you, or the communication which I serve to you, is very specific to you, right? And specific to me. And what kind of channels? If I have a preference of an email and you have a preference of Facebook, I serve so specifically an ad to you on Facebook and I'll get an ad on email, right? Which traditionally you cannot do, which is what is the important thing of, or the drawback of the traditional marketing today. Let me show you an example in the next slide, right? Some of the stats. I mean, I'm sure most of you know what is Vogue, right? Vogue is one of the top magazines in the world, right? A full page ad, if you want to give in Vogue, will cost you about $196,000, right? Of course, the circulation is huge. It reaches out to 1.2 million. More than 500,000 actual deliveries. They do an ad impression of, close to a 0.18 million, right? As a retailer or as a marketeer, what do I look at, right? What is my cost per member? So it's about $1,000, right? My cost per impression is about $1. What is the return or cost per acquisition? I don't know, because I don't know how many customers have actually looked at my ad, right? It's like, sometimes all of us do that in our life, right? If you have a headache and if you have a stomach pain, if you have a fever, we do self-medication thinking that, yeah, I can treat myself better than a doctor for 2 days, till your fever increases and your cough increases, and then you eventually decide, no, doctor treats better than my own medicine. Let me go to the doctor, right? That is how a traditional versus digital is. Not that I'm trying to tell you that traditional does not work, but eventually in the space, in the world we live in today, digital is far more impactful than a traditional marketing, is what is the comparison I'm trying to give you here. All right, let's move ahead. uh, all right, so what are some of the stats, right? What is stats saying? I mean, you can say that Rahim as industry expertise, but was he coming and showing us all these slides for, right? I thought, why don't I show you some stats, which is a proven number available on Google, which you can go and eventually look at any point in time, right? Today, as of today, maybe a month back or a couple of months back, 60% of the marketeers across various industries, whether you name retail, whether you name automotive, you name real estate, whether you name any other, right, healthcare, pharma, any of the industries have shifted their efforts towards digital marketing, right? I'm sure all of you have noticed this on the web space. All of you on a daily basis, multiple times, have multiple interactions via digital channels. Today, if I'm on InShots and reading a news in the morning, I still get served an ad of a real estate of a house which I'm not even interested in buying, right? But still, as real estate guys who are more of direct selling, who are more of communicating loudly on big hoardings on the newspaper, who spent a lavish money on these kind of ads today, also have realized that it's no more a game of traditional marketing methods. Yes, I'll continue to do, but eventually I'll have to move on and spend a lot of my marketing portion of larger portion of my marketing money in the digital space, right? I leave this slide to you. Of course, you know some of the things. Mobile, I mean, this is a very interesting fact. Mobile will be accounting for over 70% of the digital ad spend. Of course, that is because email ads does not give that much of a response. All right. I mean, still, even though email is considered as one of the traditional, I would say, digital channels, even though effectively used till today as one of the digital platforms to communicate as compared to SMS. But eventually, email as a medium does not give you responses which you intend to get as a marketer. So, of course, you know, the notifications, your ads served via app and multi other things takes up 70% of the space. Right. Even B2B marketeers, I mean, this is interesting, right? Even B2B marketeers have moved on to use the digital space for their marketing, who traditionally believe in the catalog kind of a marketing. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. I hope you all got in some perspective. This is a quick thing of what I have sort of shown you there, and this is the prediction which Burrell Associates, one of the leading consultants across the world, had predicted, and eventually it is the truth today. Right? You can yourself see, right, the spend per customer which has been effectively increased, and look at the difference between two arrows. Massive, right? Massive. After the crossover of online to offline, massive. Even though one interesting fact which we should know, with the level of spend which is increased in online versus the dip in offline is not very significant. Okay, that is a key from this slide for you. What does that translate into? Still, people are believing spending in traditional space, but however, the spend in marketing space overall has significantly eventually increased. Okay, so marketing as a strategy, as a organization within a larger organization, has become very critical unit or the business function, right? Simple comparison, how a print and the digital can make a lot of difference and save a lot of bucks, right? As a marketer, for me, look at the CPM 1000 we spend in print for an org which I showed you, versus digital, it is how much? It's way too low, right? It's 1%. That's an impact. Imagine that now you can reach out to 100 customers more, right? In the same money of what you reached out to one customer before traditional. All right. And of course, here, good part is that you are able to know how much you are spending to acquire one customer. That is very key. And of course, you know who is the customer, very importantly, right? Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing today, right? What is that journey which, as a marketer, which I'm talking about, which traditionally I could not, right? Because I didn't have enough data to say that, okay, this is what I'm going to do to a specific customer. So, as a marketer, what I did traditionally, what I'm doing today, there is a eventual shift in the strategy of where I look at the marketing plan today versus what I used to do few years back. And what is the objectives, right? The objective also has changed a lot, right? Why I'm saying that is the marketing objectives earlier of creating a advocacy versus today is far, far different than what it used to be earlier. So today, if you know, these are the four stages as a marketer which I definitely look at, right? How do I attract my customers, which eventually has been the marketing mantra, right? How do I get more customers into the stores, right? How do I convert a new customer who is a stranger to the brand or who knows about that brand but does not come and shop in my brand, convert them into coming into my store and making them as a transacted customer, wherein today with the digital space I more of thinking how do I translate strangers into a visitor because of my digital platform, and visitor to a lead, wherein earlier traditionally what I used to do, how do I get the stranger into the store, I make that customer as a footfall, and that footfall convert them into a transacted customer, right? Transacted customer is somebody who has shopped with me, at least done one transaction, at least bought a chocolate with me, right? So today it's about a lead, right? Lead is nothing but eventually converting somebody who's come on a website or a mobile or anywhere and shopped, did one transaction, is a lead for me. From their customers, so this is interesting, right? Earlier my journey used to be say, okay, stranger to a customer, after that I get them inside the store and I, then hence they became my customer. Today I'm saying that once the customer starts shopping with me, post that he's my customer, right? Because today my belief is if Ayushi is coming and shopping on my platform, website, mobile app, or in my store, eventually Arushi should believe in uh, uh, Arushi should eventually have trust in my product, have trust in my brand, right? When you have the trust will only come when you build a relationship over a period of time, right? That is when today's marketing space, we call them customers, right? Once we know that customer is eventually loyal to you. Earlier, the terminology of loyal was very, very loosely used, but today the seriousness of using a loyal customer terminology has become far evolved than what it was earlier, right? From there, of course, we believe that customers should promote you, influencing, right? Influencers, we believe in making our customers speak for us. No more we would be more than happy that if two customers talk about me and my brand on the digital space versus a customer, yeah, versus a celebrity, I pay to come and talk about it, right? So that is where the large shift which has happened in terms of even the strategy of a traditional marketing to a digital marketing space eventually, which is helping us understand our customers better. I see some questions. Is that okay, Professor, if I take the questions at the last, or what do you want me to do?
Yeah, we'll be taking it in the last. If you want, you can take it up right now. But the idea is that we're taking all the questions in the last.
Okay, that's I think ideal for me as well, so that we
Right,
don't
sure.
interrupt the flow. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, all right. So apart from that, what we are thinking, some of the key things here is how are we educating constantly and engaging our customers on a day-to-day basis or even multiple times in a day, right? Is become eventually a very important strategy within the marketing space, and of course that eventually will lead how much I'm able to engage them and eventually create advocacy where my customer spreads the positive word of mouth and have a positive sentiment for my brand, plays a very critical role in the marketing strategy space while we have evolved in the digital marketing space. Yeah, these are few of, or I would rather say not few, rather say it is an important aspect which a digital marketing space has enabled us, of measuring the results of what I do, right? I know how effective I am as a marketer today which will also is a scorecard for me to tell me whether I'm doing my job right, whether I'm doing my job correct, whether I'm reaching out to the right audience, whether I'm talking to the right customer with the right product, right price, right promotion, right? Earlier, which used to be a bigger gap. How will we eventually use these methods, or eventually use this can you just go back, sorry? Yeah, eventually use these results. Eventually these results are used to carve out the marketing strategy, and eventually the strategy for the organization in terms of the way forward. Okay, so if I know, let's take an example of a channel growth here, right? If I know a particular channel is getting more of a traction for me, is doing so, as a marketeer, I look at my marketing strategy of what to talk, who is my consumer, who is coming in quite often there, what is the profile of the customer. That is where the analytics play a major role in terms of the customer understanding. And post that customer understanding, I devise my marketing strategy in terms of what should I do over there as a marketer, what should I show to the customer, right? How do I communicate to that customer, where is that I need to do the communication, how much spend I need to do eventually, right? And who are the customers who is shopping on the other platforms and not coming in here, and how do I eventually bring those customers there, right? And also, what is that customer doing differently than a customer who is there coming on this particular site or particular web page? And what is the difference in behavior in a customer who is shopping here versus shopping there? So I can do a lot of math and comparison, and then eventually see what is the result of each analysis which I am looking at, and what is each analysis which I'm doing. Each analysis is throwing out an insight to me, and eventually that insight, in conjunction with the results which a marketing action or a campaign has given me, builds into a marketing strategy for me, right? As I evolve. And marketing strategy is not like I build a marketing strategy for a year. Of course I build, and eventually as I move along, the marketing strategy for me evolves, allows me to do changes in today's scenario. And there was a frequency a year back or a year and a half back where I used to change my marketing strategy if needed every month. But if I look at the same space today, being consumer evolving, being so dynamic today on the digital space, and I know what is the dynamic activities which is involved, and what is that customer is looking at. My marketing strategy even can change every week or every month. So this is very important. Few of the metrics which I have listed, which plays a critical role for me as a marketing, right? Okay, so there comes to an end of what I think I've spoken a lot, but yeah, I would say decision time for a lot of marketeers, decision time for a lot of us in terms of where do we want to be there. If you ask me as a marketeer what I want to do, of course, I'm not going to shift my focus 100% to either one of the marketing methods. I would definitely play a vital role in strengthening my digital marketing space and digital marketing activities. However, some of the traditional marketing space will still remain as saint space for me to reach out to the consumers and the right group of people for my marketing needs. Yeah.